I go to Columbus Elementary School.
CES Columbus Elementary School.
I help people when they're trying to read by helping them sound it out. I want to be a teacher because I can do things with my students and teach my kids that I learn.
My mind respect is like, you have to learn how to get along with them. And I think that's what they really teach you at the elementary school, is that you get along with everybody, you play with everybody, you don't have the cliques here.
So when boys and girls come into the gym each day, we have a routine that we follow because routines are so important for young children. They give the weather report, so we know what kinds of clothes to wear out for recess. Then we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the hands pledge. The hand pledge, it says, I will not use my hands or my words for hurting myself or others. And we take the pledge, knowing that some days things won't go as well as we hoped, but that pledge of the next day to help things go better. And that's the kind of school we want to have.
And I see the responsibility factor, especially in my third grader again. She has many jobs around the school, such as taking care of the plants, feeding the animals, giving a weather report in the morning meeting, and I really have seen her grow a lot this year in being able to take care of things at home, as well as just taking care of herself.
Making sure that students are behaving to get the most out of themselves and to be able to help each other. And I think that again is the foundation of that caring system, to be able to really make sure that that we're respecting each other and respecting ourselves, which is, you know, for many students somewhat of a struggle. But I think it really gets at where we want to get, rather than having students necessarily follow particular rules that we would have. It's really reflecting on how their actions really affect themselves and others around them.
So this year I've been working on the zones of regulation with kids, and this helps them get their body and their behavior ready for learning. There are different zones for different behaviors and different emotions. The zones really gives kids a concrete way to think about their own behavior and what zone their behavior may be in, and then we give them strategies for how they can get their body and their behavior ready for learning.
And so the bus driver talks about what good behavior looks like on the bus. And we have students on the playground where adults are modeling that, and then having students model as well how you use each piece of the equipment safely and respectfully. Bathrooms, another place where we practice, hallways, lunchrooms. So we have those practicing sessions. That way all students have the opportunity to see what good behavior looks like in all of those different areas and to practice it.
We talked about the value of caring, or the value of perseverance, or the value of treating each other nicely. And February was our month of caring, and we did a lot of activities to show how you can care for our community by food pantry drives, or caring for our veterans by making cards for them. But then we really wanted to focus on, what do you do for each other?
If they saw someone doing something caring for another student in class or recess, wherever, they would write on the slip what they saw the person doing and then write their name. We would hand it in, and then they would create this chain that would wrap around the hall. And I saw kids really looking for those things. You really saw some of the kids kind of step up, maybe ones you didn't even expect, that really started to take notice of things, and then they in turn would want to do it themselves, so someone would want to write a strip with their name on it.
And she often says, oh, it's really hard being smart because your teacher always chooses really hard things for you to read.
Allie, she's been challenged enough that she keeps wanting more and more challenges. My sixth grade, she's in sixth grade now, she's a 4.0 over at the middle school, and I think that was the foundation was built here at the elementary.
Last week, my second grader came home, and I think she just had some awareness recently that she may not be in that top reading group. So that tells me, you know, it's not obvious to kids where they're at, you know, and they have an understanding of I am in a reading group that's right for me. And anyway, she had been told by her teacher that she had noticed some good improvements in reading, and she came home last week and she said, I think I might be able to move to another group for reading. And so over the weekend, she brought home a book, and she insisted, like, I need you to practice with me, because when I read this to my teacher, I want to sound really good.
It was really nice to come into a team that was so welcoming, and especially as a kindergarten team, very kind of just getting me into the groove and everything. It was all a whole new experience. I taught 6th grade before, so it was a lot to learn, a lot of changes to be made. Everyone was so willing to help out, from 3rd grade staff all the way down to kindergarten.
We just got back from a field trip, and if one kid was out, there's 5 or 6 other kids that are going to try and get that person in line. It was great. They didn't even have to ask them. They were walking in lines. They'd all hold hands. They know that they're part of the team.
The community really is involved. We have a mentor program here where like police officers, different members of the community come in. They don't necessarily have kids in the school, and they meet up with a mentor, have lunch with them, do different activities, so that's really fun to see.
My mentee and I are building a solar house together, and so every Wednesday he comes in and we're working on getting that solar house together. As a science teacher, I like that kind of thing, but he's really having to help me with the electrical circuitry, because that's not necessarily something I'm good at.
You know, from a academic standpoint, and I think it's also reflects on our culture, the 2 schools within this building, Discovery Charter School and Columbus Elementary School, both scored in the top 2% of all schools scored on the state report card in 2014, and so we're very, very proud of that. And I think that, again, speaks beyond just the academic part, because we know a lot of students come with needs well beyond learning needs, that they need to feel safe, they need to feel valued, and you can't get to the academic excellence unless you have those primary needs taken care of. And so I think our CARES program really helps provide that foundation for the academics to excel.